Well, this is not a skit, but May is Ehlers-Danlos Awareness Month, and I wanted to just sit down with you and talk a little bit about one of the things about EDS. Last year, my doctor mentioned a condition to me called EDS, and I basically ignored it, but later I looked into it, and one of the things used to diagnose EDS is called the Beighton scale. Now, you can score really high on this and not have EDS because it is a measurement of hypermobility. But people who are hypermobile may have EDS, they may not. But this is one of the things used to help diagnose it. I hope that makes sense. So this is like golf. You want a low score. You want to be over here. You don't want to be over here. And the more you scooch over here, the more likely you are hypermobile. In order to be diagnosed with EDS, you need to score pretty high on this, but you also need other things too. So even if you are looking at this with me today and you're like, whoo, I score high, don't be worried, but you may want to talk to your doctor, especially if you have other symptoms. Most people are going to score 4 or below. And if you score 4 or higher, that's when you might want to start talking to your doctor. The reason I'm making this video is because I score very high on the Beighton scale. Some of mine are a little iffy, but I'm about a 9 out of 9, which is way on this end, and not very common. The problem is when I was looking for this information online, I was seeing it represented as drawings. I was seeing people who are not hypermobile demonstrating it. Like they'd go like, if you can do this, you get a point. No, you don't get a point for doing that. Everyone can do that. So I feel like this information is not out there enough right now, and I hope you'll bear with me in helping to spread awareness this month for EDS with this video. The rest of this video, other than an outro, is going to be a slideshow, so you won't have to look at me anymore. But I did want to mention one last thing. These are not stretches you should do for fun. You shouldn't force them. I took these pictures for doctors. Alright guys, let's get started. Let's talk about thumbs first. I think this is the easiest thing to measure because you can just see it without needing to see any angles. So for this, you bend your thumb to your forearm and see if it touches. If it does, you get a point. After I was diagnosed, I saw some people will prefer that you have your arm extended when doing this. I don't know, maybe it's a little harder to do, so I demonstrated it both ways. If you're able to do this on the left side, you score an additional point. After this, things get a bit more confusing because we're going to switch to talking about angles. And for this, I feel like you really need someone else to look at you, or maybe you want to film yourself. It just gets a little bit harder to see things. Next is the right pinky finger. You place your hand on a flat surface and see if your pinky bends beyond 90 degrees while trying to hold the other fingers flat. Now, my angle on this is a bit minimal, but my doctor did give me a point. My EDS has really impacted my hands. I have really bad tendinitis and I don't want to push it. Anyway, if you can do this, you score a point. The left pinky on me is the same in that this is not as far back as some hypermobile people can pull back their fingers. But anyway, if you're able to go beyond 90 degrees, it's another point. My elbows are where things start to look a little bit unsettling, so I'm grossed out by them. Hopefully you are not. Anyway, for an elbow to score a point, the angle must be more than 10 degrees of bending backwards. After the right elbow, you again check the left side. And if you are able to go beyond 10 degrees with the left side, you also score a point. As with the elbows, we'll next see if the knees bend backwards. I think the knees are the hardest thing to see without a measurement tool. My doctor went by sight and said she would call mine plus minus. But I've since been able to check at home with a protractor against pictures, and I believe mine are beyond the minimum needed, which is also more than 10 degrees. Here is my left knee, and I think it can help to look at the upper leg compared to where your foot lands. The leg muscles just kind of throw things off and make it hard to tell. But anyway, you can score 1 point per knee that is able to do this. The final part of the test measures spine hypermobility. This one hurts me. In the past, I herniated a disc and partially paralyzed my foot just from walking, so I'm not a big fan of this one, and it's one reason I wanted photos to show doctors so I don't have to do it again. With this test, you bend at the waist and see if your palms can touch flat to the floor. If you're able to do that, you score a point. At the end of this test, you add up your score. A score of 0 to 3 as an adult means you don't have generalized joint hypermobility. If you scored 4 or more, you may want to talk to your doctor. Please check the link in the description since the way to read the scale can vary by age. The link is only for diagnosing hEDS, but being hypermobile doesn't necessarily mean you have EDS. It can be a sign of nothing to worry about or another condition instead. Have a great day and thanks for watching. Bye!